Let's break this down now and talk more about it with the Director of External Relations and Communications at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. There is Tamara Alrifai now joining us here live on RT International from Amman, Jordan, at just about 2:10 on this Tuesday afternoon. Tamara, I'm so grateful to get you on the program here. Thank you very much for joining us. I know that UNRWA has been working overtime for, a good 2 years now, doing a very difficult job, but a very worthy job of helping the embattled residents of Gaza and the surrounding area. After this announcement now, the big peace plan seemingly in effect, can you tell us about how are you guys going to coordinate your job, your humanitarian work moving forward?
Yeah, thanks so much for having UNRWA. This is a platform that is dear to us. UNRWA has never stopped working during the war, like you so rightly said. We had, and still have, about 12,000 UNRWA employees delivering medical assistance, 10 million medical consultations over the last 2 years, managing shelters, 180 UNRWA schools in total in Gaza. Most of them became shelters for displaced people, since most Gazans have become displaced, but also pumping and desalinating water for human consumption, distributing water to people, and managing solid waste to avoid an even larger public health crisis. Yeah. So now with that news, that piece of news that we welcome and hope will give respite and a bit of return to normality, it is time to surge, upscale the entrance of food, humanitarian assistance, hygiene kits, medicines, tents, blankets to Gaza. We say this because the clock is ticking and we need to reverse the impact of famine to start with, but also help people build their lives. That is in the immediate. Yeah. But right after the immediate, there's an entire generation of children, 660,000 children in school age, that need to go back to learning, not just for their education, which is a priority, but also for their mental health. It's a traumatized generation, and a generation that has been looking in the rubble for their loved ones and away from school and away from any normality.
Yeah, I mean, I think you make a very good point there, and more credit to you, frankly, Tamara, for trying to help so many children. You said 660,000 kids of school age, and they need to get back. They need to have some sort of semblance of normality returning to their lives, and I think you're absolutely right. But when we talk about normality, a UN official is now saying that the destruction of the enclave has produced a staggering 55 million tons of debris. How are you going to increase your job there, increase in putting out more food, more shelters, more medicine, more aid for everybody? How are you going to do that when there's 55 million tons of debris that has to be cleared out?
It's 55 million tons of debris, and we don't know how much unexploded ordnance lies within this debris. Yeah. I mean, the staggering numbers of dead reported, so over 67,000, this is only the bodies accounted for. We don't know what we're going to find within this debris. And so you're right in pointing out at the level of destruction. More than 92% of all residences, so residential units in Gaza, are destroyed, which means most Gazans no longer have a home. So between the destroyed infrastructure, the destroyed roads, which, by the way, causes big challenges to humanitarian trucks and aid delivery, between the debris, the unexploded ordinances, it will take a very big and very expensive reconstruction plan to bring Gaza back to what it was like before October 7th. So it's going to take the commitment of the international community and mostly donors. Without money, that reconstruction is not going to be possible.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's hope that UNRWA has unfettered access to everywhere UNRWA needs to go. It's extremely important. As you say, unexploded ordnances could be buried in the rubble across the enclave, but also the tragic victims that still have not been found amid this 2-year war. Tamara, I wanted to ask you quickly, if I may. I understand there are reports some aid centres in Rafah remain closed at Israel's request. Can you confirm that and answer how is that affecting the distribution of critical supplies?
I cannot confirm this information, but what I can confirm is that UNRWA is seeking to access people where they are. We have seen large population movements over the last 2 days since the fighting has subsided, from north to south, but also from south to north. We want to be where people are. We want to take aid and medical services and education to where people are. The first thing we're going to look at precisely is the distribution centers and how to make distribution centers, health centers, and other necessities of life available to people wherever they are and while they're moving.
Well, we wish you the best of luck with your continued work, as we've been speaking with Tamara Alrifai, who is the Director of External Communications at the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. We've been following your work now for well over 2 years, not just in Gaza, but around the world. And from all of us here, we want to congratulate you and commend you for the hard work you've been doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.